Welcome back
to Small Ponds,
Big Dreams. I'm your host, Matt.
And this is his co-host in crime, James.
And we are here to provide you with fishy topics and knowledge weekly with some humorous antics on the side.
So what do you say, Matt? You want to dive into this week's episode?
Into the deep we go! What is up, pond hoppers?
Welcome back.
Welcome. What is up, Jemima?
Oh, just recording a podcast. How about you?
Just recording. Just sitting here on average Friday recording a podcast. Nothing new. Well, yeah, pretty much, other than the absolute piss factory of rain we're getting right now.
Oh, yeah, dude. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Joke's on you people who thought you were going to have a fun Memorial Day weekend. Except it looks like it might be done mid-Sunday.
Yeah, I heard Sunday morning we might get a little rain, but it was going to kind of stop and start back up Tuesday.
Yeah, so maybe Monday. Get out and do something Monday.
So when you guys hear this, you'll be able to check our weather predictions.
Yeah, and see if we were correct, because we are meteorologists.
But yes, I do plan to fish Monday.
Yeah, so do I. My wife doesn't know that yet, but so do I.
That's right. She won't listen to the podcast before you go fishing.
Facts. But she'll be notified. Because I'm at least have to be like, hey, I'm not going to be here all day. Because I put it out Monday. But it'd be fun. Maybe we'll plan a little Monday, go hit some places we haven't hit in a while. I want to hit some dirty water because I got some presentations.
Maybe I want to hit some clear water.
Yeah, good. Wrong state. If that's your choice.
It's only going to rain for another 48 hours.
Yeah, and it has rained a good amount this week. I think if we were supposed to, I was looking at totals. I think it was almost 2 inches today, just today alone. So that rivers are up, creeks are up, lakes and ponds are muddy. Yeah, but it's okay. I've got some things I want to throw in that muddy water that I don't typically get to throw. So I'm very much okay.
Yeah.
Let's talk weekend fishing. It's been another week since our listeners got to listen to us ramble of our fishing adventures last week. Lay it on me, James. What you got?
I will lay my very long and winding tale of my fishing week.
Yeah.
So I went out Saturday.
No, you didn't. Yeah, you did.
Yes, I did. With you.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because that's right.
We hit quad.
Yeah, because we ended up not getting the amount of rain that we anticipated getting, because we originally planned that day to go out with Eli.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm jogged. I'm jogged.
So we went out and hit quad.
Yep.
And absolutely skunked.
Absolutely.
Threw everything I had at those ponds. I think I changed lures that day more than any other day I've ever thrown. Yeah. Had fun casting, got lost in the cast for a bit. But yes, ultimately skunked. And then as for the rest of my fishing week, I was too busy to go fishing all week. And rain.
That happens. Rain, busyness. Yeah, dude, we went to quad. Oh, by the way, speaking of quad, do you know that they're renovating the lake part?
Really?
Yeah, it's closed for the rest of the year, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, I think
we should have hit that
other quad. Zach did that day.
Yeah, I know.
And he caught.
Yeah.
So maybe we should have. But I think we both were done. Did we have something else to do that day? Did we have podcast
Which day?
recordings?
Saturday?
Yeah.
We recorded before we went out.
I know we did, but that was the episode of the wardrobe changes. Yeah. Okay. So James isn't doing much fishing. That sucks, man. I hate hearing that, but it's okay. I definitely fish for the both of us. So the Saturday you're talking of, I woke up. So I don't know why, but when I left last Friday from pod recording, I didn't have, my wife was around all weekend. So I already had made my mind up that I was going to go fishing as much as possible. But I got home and was jittery and just full of anxiousness about going fishing. I just wanted to go fishing so bad.
Like a kid on Christmas Eve.
It was bad that day. I don't know why. So I concocted in my brain, I'm like, I'm going out tomorrow morning early before that storm hits because I wanted to get some fishing in. I proceeded to stay up until like almost 1 o'clock in the morning. I woke up 4 a.m., bright-eyed, bushy-tailed. I was out to that pond by 5, and my whole goal was to take out the swimbait rod with the wake walker LT. And I ended up having myself a little bit of a day. So I got to the pond real early, nice dark. If you guys are on the socials, which I know you are, you guys got to see that nice sunrise I had that day, and I put a hurting on them. So I started at Yankee Doodle Dandy. I hacked up about 5 there. I put one on the board. So I got my new measuring board from Euro Tackle. I got to throw that out and use it a couple times.
We should have called that pond Macaroni.
Macaroni in a pot. That is actually a good one. I might.
He stuck a feather in his cap, and he called it macaroni.
Oh, dude, that. All right, I'm in. Let's switch it to macaroni.
All right.
All right, if we can keep remembering that. So I was at macaroni first, and yeah, dude. So let me talk about the catches first.
Yeah.
I ended up traveling to 3 different ponds that day and catching at every pond. 2 decent ones, a 17 and 18 on that board, which the board itself is okay. I definitely see why it was $16. It's just like they put that like end so you can nose your fish up to it, right? And I get that's why they did it, but the way it has to get rolled up in that tube, it almost is always gonna be kinked there. It's never gonna lay perfectly flat. Now I might be wrong on that. Maybe I need to pull it out, let it actually fully go flat, and then roll it back up. I don't know. Or maybe I just need a different board in general. Who knows? But it served its purpose. I felt pretty happy because I got to put a couple up in the Crusaders Gauntlet, even though I forgot the code word. But let's talk about, well, we'll keep going through the week of catching. So I ended up going out Sunday with Bentley, my son, and we actually we had fun. We went to a couple ponds and didn't catch at first, but then went to the church pond. I ended up catching. I got 2 catches on the reg stick. Actually, Nico rigged. Funny enough, Ben was using Bellows Gill, I think, and he was like, "You're just catching because it's the reg stick. That's just easy." I'm like, "Nah, dog." I was like, "Give me your pole. You can't get over and catch it." No, it didn't work. I couldn't catch. Definitely, the reg stick was doing all the work, and then that reg stick for a Senko. Good lord, dude.
Yeah.
And yes, dude. Yes. Very good Senko. Very good Senko. And then my week. I don't think I've done much. Yeah.
Because I didn't actually haven't talked to you about your Sunday that day.
Yeah.
Because originally you told me your plan was to go creeking. Were the creeks just too flowing?
No, that is not it. Me and Ben went to the creek.
Okay.
We went to the spot where's like the spot we get in where the like the sportsplex, I want to call it, is not the one on the left, not the one on the right. The chain. We went to the chain. We went to the chain. We was off the chain. Right. Popped in immediately.
Yeah. Cold. Yeah, dude.
It's cold.
It ain't late enough.
And I almost chickened out immediately. And Ben was like, "Nah, we're in it." I'm like, "All right." So we started going. I caught 3 rock bass on the Weber. Okay. Right. And then I started noticing that like the smallmouth were kind of like, I saw a couple smallies and they were kind of like nosing it and then leaving. So I thought, all right, maybe a little too big for presentation. So I put on the Fiend from WM Bayou. Right?
Okay.
We walk a little ways. Ben is literally standing right next to me. I go to cast, and my lure grabs his rod, and my reel goes, and I was like, now you'd be proud of me.
At least
Hold
it was
on.
his rod
Listen.
not his face.
Listen, facts. I almost wish it would have been his face. No, I don't. I'm glad it was just his rod. But listen, I calmly detangled it from his rod. Hold on. I calmly detangled it from his rod. I looked at him and I said, well, we gotta go now. So we walked back. I got in the car and I was like, hey, a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B as far as the faults. So I'm not going to get mad and I'm just going to let it be. I was like, however, he had brought his bait caster in case that we did go to the creeks and it was too flooded. We would go to ponds, right? So I told him, I said, you're screwed. You're going to the bait caster. I want my spinning rod back. Those are the first 2 fish I've caught on a spinning rod all year. So yes, that's why you're not hearing much about.
I was
the
gonna say,
creek.
I can't believe you didn't want to tell that story.
No, see, I don't even have.
It has a good
I didn't even
ending.
listen. I didn't even log those fish.
I mean,
I didn't even log.
I'm
those
proud
fish.
of you.
Well, yeah,
I'm proud that combo made it back home.
Yeah,
'Cause
it
that's,
did.
That's how I thought that story would end.
Yeah, dude, I was so, you know me. I have a tendency, ladies and gentlemen, to blow up in situations like that, and then I'll start to blame everybody else except in knowingly. Just remember, ladies and gentlemen out there, when you are pointing fingers at somebody, there's still 3 fingers pointing back at
That's
you.
why I point with my whole hand.
This is all your fault. Yeah, so I mean, yes, as far as that part of the story, that was great, but like it was
freezing.
15 minutes of fishing, and yes, it was fucking freezing.
I mean, you got
dude.
2 rock bass on the Weber. That's
dude,
cool.
which was pretty cool. One was a good size, and shout out to the wife. It was all on that ghost trout color she picked.
Okay, so yeah, moving on.
I didn't rain, and I sat on a 2-day skunker. And to my own fault, I had one day. So Slight Donk Express, if you guys saw, I got my Bellow Shad 6.8s in, right? I also in the same package got a JDM bait, which I'll actually can't wait to show you. It's like maybe like a 3.2 inch little curly tail worm that G Crack makes. I didn't know they made it. It's called like Moon something, but I'm BFS it's SAF.
Oh.
All in my realm. And then I also picked up Bellows Gill 4.2 Bellows Gill 4.2 swimmers in the Crack House exclusive crappie color. And I'd taken it out that day and I got bit 3 times and just missed my hook sets. Just with the hook sets. That's my fault.
Okay.
And then the next day I went out and I can't remember what I threw that day. Oh, I threw the Wake Walker in the rain and I couldn't even get a sniff.
No.
And I was like, what in the schniz? So then yesterday I met up with good listener of the pod, Zach, and we did a little dangle for a little while. I took him to a couple honey holes over by my place that he hasn't checked out.
Macaroni?
In a pot? No, actually, I told him he wasn't allowed to go there. We went to Grace and we went to actually the Oak Grove place next to Grace.
Okay.
But we started at Grace. And it was Thursday, right before rain. So I'm like, dude, I'm so jonesed on these 6.8s. This is what I'm throwing. And your boy caught some. Now listen, there might be on Zach's GoPro, but as far as my physical evidence of the catches, they don't exist. And this is the reason why. The first fish I caught on it, I think hit it and I reacted too quick and I totally just got that mofo right in the side of the dome. So I'm like, that to me, I'm like, I can't take a picture of that and be like, oh, I caught my first Bellows Gill 6.8 fish, right? Second one, in the mouth. I'm trying to get my thumb in its mouth, and bro, it just jumps off the line. It jumped off. I still got him. Like, I still got to touch him. It's a catch, but like, I didn't get to, I could have just like, put the hook in its mouth and rigged the picture, but I didn't want to do that. So, I didn't get any video or any pictures of it. I will say that bait is, I'm a little on it for right now.
Yeah.
I don't like it the way it's, I don't know. I need to figure out some things with it. As of right now, I don't really like it on a Neko rig because it like falls sideways. It doesn't always stay standing up. I don't know if I don't have enough weight in the nose of it, and that's the problem. It's still got too much weight in the back. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm just saying I'm so messing with it, but don't you worry. I will be throwing it a shit ton because it is a fun bait. Not gonna lie. It's a fun bait to get around there. And then we come to today. And today is another rainy day. Now, as some people may know, listening to the show, I get off earlier than you. I got like a few hours. I typically go fishing, and then I meet up with you, and we do this lovely thing we call a podcast, right? Well, I made it a point of myself. I'm like, I'm going in the rain again, and I'm taking out the wake walker. And ladies and gentlemen, I tore it up today. I actually got 2 bigger ones now on the wake walker. I think I caught at least a couple today that were in the upper 2-pounders. Yeah, which are the ones on socials. Again, y'all know, you already seen it. But I want to talk about the wake walker for a second.
Okay.
This thing is versatile. Comes through, so like it's a wake bait, right? But it's also slightly a crank down. And what I mean by that is you can get it to go under the surface a good like half a foot, maybe a foot, and you can keep it down there. Now you gotta burn it, but you can keep it down there. Or you can, so pause. There's 2 main retrieves that I enjoyed. One of them I haven't got bit on yet. The other one I have, but I know the other one will work. But they're my 2 mains, and I will tell you them. The first one's the lazy hobo. The second one's the crackhead. Okay. The one I was just talking about is the crackhead. And I mean, dude, I'm serious. It's like, it is so quick, and it just looks like a massive fleeing bait fish. And so that's the crackhead, because real quick, right? And then the lazy hobo, dude, when you slow roll this thing, the way its tail in the back just flops, it just reminds me of like this real like lazy, like no care in the world fish, like I'm top shit, ain't no one fucking with me. And it gets destroyed, T-boned. I watched one T-bone it today. Wow. Just like T-bone it. So I love the versatility of it. And also, even when you're cranking it down, like that bigger bill, bro, it pushes weeds away pretty well. I've had it come up and over slightly submerged wood. So far I'm really vibing to it.
Okay.
I stole the kid's perch one from him. I told him it's mine. He ain't gonna throw it. He's got 2. He's got a white one and the perch one. Well, I will say that his perch one came with the tail slightly ripped, so he's like, "Ooh, I don't care. I'm throwing it. I'll buy a replacement tail. They're like $10. I don't care." But that definitely was has been super fun. I don't think I'm gonna be able to take it off that rod. It's gonna be hard. That's why I kind of also did some reel switching around. So now I've got the Shimano back on, locked on the 6 Sense rod for the swim baits. But I made myself a big soft plastics rod, and I got my favorite rod back out, which we know is not really my favorite rod. That's just the stupid name of the brand. But I pulled that back out to throw like the Bellows Gill 5.8, the Bellows Shad, the smaller glides that are only like an ounce to an ounce and a half, and things like that.
Right.
So it kind of switching the arsenal up a little bit to be able to throw those bigger baits. Kind of just, I basically deassembled my dad's combo. I put that bass, that quantum back away for a little while. It did its due. It saw some big smallmouth, saw some big largemouth. It hasn't seen a bass in like 15 years. So
it'd make a good all around for you.
It would. It really would. The quantum, it really would. But to me, dude, it's like once we fully have our podcast space, that's where I want that at. I just want it to be like right up there. Only way I think that the rod could get even any cooler is if I somehow could get Bill Dance to sign it.
We can make that happen. We can make that happen.
You just got Bill Dance's number in your
I mean,
phone?
I'm sure we can find his address.
Okay. That's creepy. Yeah, I'm sure you could. It's just a quick Google search. I mean, most people's addresses are on the internet. So yeah, I mean, that was it. And then, like I said, Small Donk Express, I guess I didn't bring anything with me to show it off, but yeah, I got the 6. I also didn't really want to show off like the Crack House exclusive stuff, because like you guys can't get it. And like the JDM one, I mean, you can't get that in America. The 6.8 you can get. I mean, they're out there. Hamilton, Bait and Tackle if you're local, or if you like to shop online, even you can get them there.
Even I can get them there?
Actually, funny thing is, Hamilton Bait and Tackle is how I found out a guy that I was subscribed to, or I follow on Instagram, lives in Ohio.
Huh.
Yeah, he put up 6.8, a picture of it, and tagged Hamilton. And I noticed that it looked like the front of the store, and I was like, "Huh, I know that shop. I've been there." So,
But we haven't been getting much Donk Express lately.
no, it's
But
no.
for one lucky listener of the pod, you have a chance
Oh,
to get yourself a very nice Donk Express.
this is just a piece of it.
So don't forget, head over to that Instagram, Small Ponds Big Dreams.
We only got like 25 entries right now, which I'm not trying to like blow everybody's entries up, because I'm sure people are like, oh, the less the better. But I would love to see that hit a higher number. I think that'd be crazy just to see. But yeah, it's there. You guys, I can't wait to see who wins it. It was super fun doing the last one we did. It's been fun doing this one, watching everybody liking, commenting on it, getting ready for it. But yeah, don't forget about the giveaway. But it's about that time. It's about that time to get
Not
in.
that time?
It's about that. It's about tree fitting.
About tree
About
fitting?
tree fitting.
It's about that
Goddamn,
time.
it's
What
about
time is it?
It's time to jump into this week's main segment. And I mean, no surprise to anybody, we're on a guest train. So we got another guest. This gentleman actually hails, if you will, from our neck of the woods. This gentleman is, I would imagine, is a force to be reckoned with on our local trails.
Well,
This gentleman is involved with a company that is very near and dear to mine and James's hearts. And also, ladies and gentlemen, this gentleman is just an absolute fishing freak. This dude knows it all and is willing to share. I am talking none other than Mr. Ryan Parker from Dark Horse Tackle. Let's jump on into it. What is up, Ryan?
What's up?
How we doing today?
Doing good. It's
A little
rainy,
soggy in Ohio.
soggy. It's been soggy all week.
Dude, it has.
Yeah, like and all weekend is what is on the horizon too. So we'll be getting wet this weekend, I guess, because I got to go fishing. I got the itch too bad.
That's where I'm always at. I'm like, you know what? Raincoat, good rain gear. You're
Yeah.
good to go.
Like you have the time that you have to go. It's up to you to go or not. I'm going.
Exactly.
For better or
And
worse,
I'm-
I'm going.
I'm thinking about it too. Is like, this might be the best Memorial Day weekend to go, because with the rain and everything, it might be a lot of people like deterred not to go
Yeah.
out, and it might be a free season.
Yeah. I think I'll be on a river. I think.
Okay.
Everything is up around me, but Raccoon Creek's got a tournament this weekend, so I might
Mhm.
pop down there and hit the Hocking and hit a place I haven't been to in probably, I don't know, 5 or 6 years. I feel like is probably passed since I was there last. And last time I was there, I did well, and I anticipate with the rain and maybe a little bit of a rising river, it should be pretty good as long as I can figure out what they'll eat.
Isn't that like always the key? It's like, it should
Pretty
be good,
much.
but what will they eat?
I always feel like it's easy once when the rivers kind of get out of their banks just a little bit, because they're just like, and it's still rising, like it just puts them right up in the grass, and it's not so much, I think, a matter of what will they eat, it's what can they find. And
Okay.
yeah, like what color or contrasts with the water enough that they can find it easy enough to eat it.
Okay.
Because I think when they get up in that grass, like those, like the smallmouth that get up in that grass, like they're just after every terrestrial thing that isn't in the river.
Anything that
There's
moves.
There's a whole bunch of food up there that is now in the water, and
Yeah.
so it's high water refuge, and they get to eat everything. So it's usually a win-win if you can manage and do it safely.
Yeah. So it sounds like, with the contrast of water and with, I know what weather we've had, it sounds like chartreuse is coming out.
I have a full chartreuse spinnerbait tied on. I'm sure like you're from the area of Mike Teach, Quetico Mike.
Yeah.
And he throws that. I think it's his color.
Yeah.
Or yeah, disco lemonade. And it is just straight chartreuse, and like I've
Shade
sworn by that for years and years too. So I've got that tied on already. I'll probably go with the swim jig because it's hard to beat it when they're up in that like heavy bank grass, which is usually the case. So take that
swim jig, get
along.
through it nice.
Yep. I usually take 4 rods. That's what I always round it out to. So I just got a Wake Walker LT, and I really, really want to throw that. So I'm probably going to force it a little bit, maybe.
Yeah.
And I'll probably have another rod that has a black tube, black neon, secret tube, which I found out so Venom used to be like my go-to 4-inch tube.
Okay.
And then Venom went defunct. And I found out that Secret has been pouring those tubes for Venom forever. Like
really?
Yes. And so we just got him in at Dark Horse. We just put him in the May. Was it the Maybox? Yeah, the Maybox.
Yeah, it was the Maybox.
Yeah, Maybox Secret tubes. And going through that process, we're like, oh, these used to be the Venom 4-inch super salt tubes. That was like a staple, in the rivers for a long time. So I started fishing them again, and I've been catching fish, having a blast. And I pretty much fish like green pumpkin purple and black neon. Those are the only 2 colors I
like. That's it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And if it's clean to clear water, lean to the green pumpkin. Anything that's dirtier, just go to black. Throw those on a little EWG style Ned head. I like to keep the weight out of it just because it gets down in current, versus it doesn't do the spiral, right? Like it just drops like a bullet. And because of the shape of it, there's no appendages. It doesn't get caught in the current and wash out of where you're trying to throw it. So it's like fishing a laser beam a lot. Like when you're fishing little pocket eddies and things like that, you can be pretty sure that thing is getting in there and down in there with enough time for a fish to react to it. So
that makes sense.
It's I've been doing it for years, and I've kind of just recently started talking about it with this new river tournament, and I was throwing it in whitewater, like tiny little pocket eddies in raging whitewater and waterfalls and stuff. And while I didn't catch any smallies doing it there, well, I think I caught a couple, maybe 1 or 2. But I caught like a mid 20-inch walleye, out of straight up, just it was like a 3-foot waterfall, whitewater waterfall. There was a walleye way up in there.
Wow.
And so fish can find it, more surprising. They're very good at it, right? And I think those spots get overlooked a lot. I think I remember someone years ago saying don't neglect the fast water, and he stopped, and he reiterated. He's like, I mean, water so fast that you think you would die if you went in it, because they're in there.
They're still there.
Yep. And so I learned how to target that stuff with a very interesting method with that tube, and it tumbles around in there really well. And that's what they're up there doing is whenever food washes down over that, they just tumble in all that whitewash. And there's usually there's usually eddies right up around where all that chaos is going on.
Yep.
Room for one fish, but that one fish that's usually there is a good one.
Yep.
So yeah, I think that'll be the lineup, and I'll probably deviate very slightly from it, if at all.
Well, I'm excited for you to get that LT in your hand, because I've been playing with that for a week or 2 now, and the thing almost has like 5 different like actions you can get out of it. Like there's so many different like ways you can work the bait. It's kind of insane.
Yeah.
I was kind of like I kind of downplayed it for a long time. Just had it on my shelf and pulled it off last few weeks. And dude, it's like I said, it will not be cut off my rod for a little while.
Yeah, it's like I know it cranks down and burns
Mm-hmm.
really well, which is like I'm pumped about that. I love stuff
Yeah.
that I can like absolutely scream. Um and I know like it just as a wake bait, like slow rolling it on top, but I'm
Yeah.
sure that like now that I've seen it and put it in my hands, I'm like, man, this thing like it turns all the way around on itself, like the joints wrap all the way around when you turn it. I'm like, man, I bet you can get this thing to chop or walk a little bit and like
Yep.
some other cool stuff. So I'm pretty pumped to like play around with it and hopefully catch a fish on it. We'll see.
Right? Like that's always the goal. It's like I hope I can catch a. That's how I always feel when I go out anytime with anything. I'm like, I
Yeah.
hope I can catch a fish on
I
something.
know. I mean, I know I'm gonna catch a fish on it. I hope it happens tomorrow.
Right?
But it's like I think for the conditions, it may be the least likely bait, but it's a big enough presence that if they are up that shallow, as long as I'm
Mm-hmm.
not dropping it right on their heads, I think they'll react to it.
Yeah. Oh, I
So
would agree. Yeah, I would agree. I think you might see some success up in the shallows with it. I had success. That's kind of where my success was today in the shallow. Last weekend it was a little further than the bank, maybe like 2 to 3 foot off
yeah,
bank. But yeah, dude, I love it. It's a good one. So I was excited to hear that
yeah.
you're messing around with that.
And it's a little, it's a little R&D too,
Uh huh.
because we over at Dark Horse have been kicking around the idea of this is not set in stone by any means, but we have been kicking around the idea of putting together um, maybe a one-off. It may be a like one-off every year where we put together
Mm-hmm.
we may call the trophy hunters box.
Okay.
We've
Okay.
we've got to crunch numbers and see what we can actually do with this to make it at least reasonably obtainable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um, so the Wake Walker is definitely in the mix for something that would go in that box because we love it. We love everything that Throwback does, but it's like, man, like
Right.
we can't afford to put that in the subscription box or something like that. So, I know Zach and Josh have kind of kicked around the idea of they've called it the glass case, right? Like just an
Mm-hmm.
area of the bait shop where it's those like higher end, small American business things. Cause like that world does phenomenally. Like they make some of the coolest, most innovative, unique things.
Oh
But
yeah.
the subscription side of things, it doesn't quite fit for us. But we want to showcase that stuff if we're able to, and it makes sense for us and those companies to do.
Yeah,
But
I
yeah,
mean, dude, I think throwback in the bait shop would be sick, just like the LTs. And I know the Glide comes out this year too. The Metro LT, I'm sure is supposed to come out like July,
yeah,
I
I think
think.
I just saw another teaser for that the other day, and like,
Yeah.
yeah, but I mean, it's like like off the top of my head, I think of like Throwback Clutch, River City.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Um, I mean, there's a whole bunch of others in that bigger bait realm. Like we've been able to get work with Sack Pig out in California
Yeah.
and get the swim frats and some other cool stuff very on the very near horizon. Um,
Okay. Okay.
so just be on the lookout for that. Um, very near horizon. Um,
All right.
so yeah, we've been trying to incorporate these things where we can with the bait shop and the sub boxes and things like that. It's definitely hard to get those bigger baits in the sub box. But the bait shop is kind of its own entity now. So we do
Mm-hmm.
stock things in the shop that don't make it to the box.
Yep.
It for a long time the bait shop was almost born out of necessity of kind of overstock of like what we would order 4 boxes and
Okay.
what just ultimately it was like, well, we have all this stuff, all this inventory sitting around, and it only goes away if somebody orders a box. Like, let's create the bait shop and let people, that way people can purchase maybe something that they liked out of each box. And that's kind of how that whole thing started. And it's grown into its own thing. We're like, okay, well, I think the bait shop is now its own self-sustaining entity. And it's certainly, I think, the reverse of what, like, I think a lot of box companies do, where it's like they're putting overstock in their
Into the
boxes,
boxes.
and we're
Yeah.
doing the opposite. Like, our bait shop was born of the overstock, like the overages that we purchased for boxes, because we didn't,
Yeah.
we ordered for 120 boxes, and we only ended up selling 90 of them. So now we have 20
Mhm.
baits, whatever it is, 20, 30 baits left over. But yeah, now we'll actually just order things for the shop if it just makes sense, which is cool, because now, and I think that's starting to catch on, which is cool to see, because not only are people coming back for the favorite things out of the boxes or the packs, but they're shopping around, and they're like, wait a second,
Yeah.
where'd this wobbler come from? That wasn't in a box,
Yeah.
which, man, if you're a river dude, I
I
now
love that
I've
thing.
mentioned it. It doesn't blow out in the
It
current.
never
It's
does.
phenomenal. Yeah.
I know.
Like, the first time I took it out, it's like hanging over the side of the kayak, and I'm motoring up river. The river's high, it's moving pretty quick, and I'm like
Mhm.
watching this thing and like waiting for it to turn up on its side, and it just never did. And I was like, I wonder how far I can push this before it blows out. And I threw it down
Right?
current and burned it as fast as I could on like an 8-to-1. And
Oh, wow.
nope.
I
No,
love that thing. It's like my dirty little secret for like river and creeks. I love that thing.
that it, it may see a little play tomorrow. We'll
Mhm.
see. I think where I'm going, the grass is going to be not conducive to treble hooks, at least
Uh,
diving treble hooks. So,
yeah.
but like, yeah, like that lava crawl, like
Mhm.
lava crawl, that river bream. I've really liked that color, that like chartreuse.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
basically, it's a brown, like chartreuse brown back, but they painted the brown back over that candy dolphin blue, so you
Oh,
get a
okay.
little bit of
Okay.
that blue that comes through. And I think it looks cool. I don't think the fish ever see it at all, but I like it.
Right? That's
And
the
now I've
catch the
got
fisherman
confidence
kind
with
of
it.
thing.
Yeah, I think a lot of like Cliff's colors though are just like old school colors that, like, people are like, hey, do you remember this old Norman from, like, from 83, this color? Can you make me
This-
like 4 or 5 of those? And I think a lot of times he's like, well, I can't make 4 or 5, so I'll just make 15 or 20 of them, and I'll just put all
Mhm.
the others on the website.
Right,
And
right. That makes
sometimes I
sense.
think that's where some of those colors are born. But that candy dolphin is like, I've fished the SSR a lot,
Mhm.
um, in that dirtier water, and
Mhm.
it's like straight chocolate milk. And for whatever reason, those fish will find that thing. Um,
Hmm.
they will track it down and find it. I've
Hmm.
been surprised at how well those little balsa cranks do in like the dirtiest of water, because they're subtle baits. Like, they're not.
Yeah, I was gonna say
I mean,
they're
the
pretty
the
subtle.
wobbler is a pretty hard wobbling. Like, there's a lot of water displacement, just how hard that
Yeah.
thing thumps. But like the SSR, that little, I don't want to call it a wake bait, because it truly does crank down, but it only goes
Yeah.
like 18 inches. It's like and it's like an inch and a half bait. It's tiny,
Yeah, it's
but
tiny.
man, like chocolate milk, they find it. It's really cool.
Mm.
How, like, I don't know if it's because the water's so shallow, or like kind of what's going on there, but it's effective for sure.
Hmm.
And
That's a nice.
now I'm thinking maybe I should take another rod, but
That'll get you going down like
I know.
rabbit holes there.
I've down the rabbit hole I go.
Yep. I know how that is. I'll do the same thing. I'll be at work and I'll be thinking about one bait, and then next thing I know, I'm like on to the next, and then on to the next, and then I'm like, dang man, I might have to take like 7, 8 rods with me. Holy smokes.
I hate to go over 4 because it gets too cluttered, right? Like, I'm
Yeah.
like antsy, like, but I think maybe I can forego the tube rod, or I can stick that in the hull with the battery
Yeah.
where I'm like, okay, like maybe I'm not having luck on the moving baits, and I'm like, man, I know there's fish in this eddy or whatever.
Right.
Pull over to the side, get the tube out, and
Yep.
soak it for a minute.
Give yourself that extra little bit
Yeah.
of finesse to get it going.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I didn't get to ask it, but I'm going to. We have a small icebreaker, which I say small, and actually every time I say that, every person's kind of had a hard time with it. So I apologize. You might have a hard time with it as well.
I'll do my
But
best.
what is your current favorite combo setup that you have in your arsenal?
That's easy right now.
Nice. I finally found someone who was easy for.
My favorite combo right now is, and this is like truly probably one of the most affordable combos I've ever put together.
Okay.
It is the TFO Professional Series. They're $100 rod series. I think they're like 109, like right around 109 is I think what they end up retailing. So the Pro Series, 7-foot, medium heavy, and it's a moderate fast.
Okay.
It's a 7-foot medium heavy mod fast, and it's a true medium heavy that is 3/8 to 1 ounce. So you can throw like a very wide range of stuff. Like I could throw the wobbler on that. I could throw, I've thrown a mag draft on it. It's a little overpowering. It's a little overpowering, but not much. Spinner baits, bladed jigs, swim jigs. I have jig fished with it. It still has enough oomph for that. I will fish the tubes on it. I will fish buzz baits, light top water. That new Excite popper that we just got is a half-ounce popper, so you can bomb that thing a mile on it. And you actually have a lot of backbone with that rod. But the reel that I have on it is just like I'm notorious for cranking the drag down on everything. Like I've never used drag on anything except a BFS casting reel. And like I just click the button and thumb the spool. So I was like curious about the casting makes the deadbolt.
Yeah.
It's like I think it's also like $109 or something, like right in that $100 price range. The 7.4 reel, because it has a little bit bigger spool size, actually picks up 3 inches less line than my 8-to-1 Tatulas. So it's still a really fast reel, but I have a lot more torque.
That makes sense.
And then the bigger spool gives me a lot more casting distance on a 7-foot rod. So I could be pretty accurate from a distance. Like I like the 7. I really, really like a 7 to 7.3 like rod, because I can be extremely accurate with it when I need to be, and I can still get stuff out quite a ways. That is, and I throw the straight 30-pound braid on that also. But that is my favorite combo. Like if I were to just take one rod, that would be it. That would be it.
Yeah, see, I've never even had a TFO rod. That's one of the companies that I have very much put thought into trying.
I have had, I think I've been fishing exclusively TFO now for 4 or 5 years. I started with the tactical and tactical elite lineup, which have been replaced with the option and Taction or Sentra. And now I have option rods, and I've loved everything. But for all of my moving baits, the whole professional series is I think maybe with the exception of a couple, is mod fast. So they're a little bit softer, and for moving baits, it just allows the fish to eat the baits way better. It basically slows your reaction speed down, and when I'm fishing straight braid too, it gives me a little bit of that shock absorption back, right? Because I'm removing that out of the line. Now I have it all in the rod. So it softens those hook sets, and it doesn't rip big gaping holes in their mouth with the straight braid when you hit them hard with a big hook. And I don't lose a lot of fish on them. I have a lot of confidence on those setups, and like I think like tomorrow, if I take the 4 rods I mentioned, 3 of them
Mm-hmm.
are Pro Series.
Oh.
And then the tube would be on the Resolve sensitivity. It's a much higher end rod, but yeah. So like the vast majority of the rods I have at this point are now TFO Pro Series, and I still have some of my old tactical elites. If I'm really going out for a day of like crankbait fishing, say for largemouth or something like that, like I have the old tactical glass. That's what is that one? I think that's a 7.3 or 7.3, I think. And I love that one for deeper running crankbaits, and just when you know, like that pre-spawn, like say I go to Alum, just north of me, like there's usually a really good pre-spawn bite for big smallmouth on crankbaits up there. And I love that rod for it. And I've fished even into their walleye lineup. There was there's a specific rod, and I love it for I kind of call it a specialty rod at this point. It's a walleye rod. It's a pro walleye rod. I think they still make it. I'm not sure. But it's 7'6". It's a medium light. Throws, I think it's an eighth to a half. And maybe 3/16 to a half ounce. 7'6", medium light. That rod for lighter, smaller baits. On a lake, it's a phenomenal drop shot rod for smallmouth. Like my hook to land ratio is 95%. I'd say it's a pretty safe number. Like I don't lose many fish on it because it's so limber. It's such a big
so parabolic.
It's such a big shock absorber when you actually hook those fish. Which, if you think about, it was designed for walleye, which have kind of bony mouths and are notorious for smacking stuff hard and coming unpinned. So it deals with those head shakes. It also pairs up with a 3,000 size reel, so I can upsize my reel, and so that just gives me a lot more line pickup if you do get those lake smallmouth, especially that like to rocket to the surface. You actually can catch up to them. And then I've found like places like the Susquehanna, when it gets really low and clear, I can get really small, lightweight things an absolute mile away from me. And again, I have a bigger spool and a longer rod with a lot more load on it, so I can catch up to and keep pressure on those fish from a greater distance, which is super handy because when it really cleans up, like in the summertime, and that river is notoriously shallow anyway, those fish get pretty spooky. Like you can watch them swim off like 100 feet in front of you, and you're like, I couldn't even cast to that one. Like it just swam away. The first time I ever went there, I saw those like wakes swimming away from me, and I was like, I would tell myself those are carp, and I very quickly learned, like, no, they weren't, dude. Like, no, not when it's just one. Like, nope, that was a giant smallmouth, and that's what it was. Like, and you spooked it before you could even get a cast accurately to it. So
wow.
I'm a big fan of the TFO lineup. I'm not sponsored by them by any means. Like I've just become quite a believer in what they're doing and the rods they're building, and their customer service. For the couple times I've had to interact with their customer service, they've been nothing but helpful and fantastic on that front too.
Nice. That's always good to hear, because I've heard some horror stories from some companies on some rods. That's for sure.
I've been through some horror stories. And I get it. Like it's a business, and
yep.
Like you're not, like most places are not going to cover it if you shut it in your truck door. And I get that. Like make mistakes. And honestly, like there's a great article, I can't remember where I read it, but like the specific breaks and how a rod actually breaks, like they can tell if it was a manufacturing defect
Huh.
or if it was an accident. Like it's pretty obvious. Like I read this article, there's pictures that go along with it, and it was eye opening because like for anybody who had a bad experience with customer service because you were trying to pull one over on someone or whatever, like, yeah, you can. The times I've had some issues with TFO, they're very quick to respond. They're very quick to help you out. I was able to send them video or pictures of the rod, like of specific areas where it failed. And in those instances where they could look at those pictures and say, yes, that was our fault. They'll, instead of sending the whole rod back, they're just like cut off the section that has the label. So
Oh, okay.
and send that to us because shipping's way less when you're sending a tiny chunk,
Yeah.
of composite or graphite or whatever, carbon fiber, and that way they can replace it with exactly what you want.
Yeah.
And another instance for that, the Resolve rod that I have is I had they had discontinued the Tactical Elite line, and I had a break that I couldn't explain, so I ended up sending them, the whole, like I was able, like they told me, like, just cut the rod in half, like put blue tape, cut it in half, whatever. That way it's, again, cheaper to ship back to them. They inspected it, got a hold of me and said, yeah, like that was manufacturing. And they said, unfortunately, we've discontinued this lineup. So what we can do is either is we can replace it with the new line. And I said, well, what about, can I, what would it cost me to move up to the Resolve? And they're like, basically, you're just paying the replacement fee plus the difference of the next line up, And I was like, well, that's cool. Like, because normally I think a lot of people, like a lot of companies, are just going to replace direct replacement. That's just how it works. Yeah. So they actually will let you to step up, just pay the difference. And so
that's nice.
Okay, cool. Like, yeah, I'll do that. And I've absolutely loved that rod because I have a hard time taking expensive rods on the river because it's just a hard environment for them. And I've been quite pleased at how well that one's held up. For some of it's a 7 foot, not it's more like a 7.1 instead of 7.3 now. But like it's taken some knocks and some dings over the last 3 years. I think I've had it, but I've replaced a couple guides, things like that. But I mean, for a $300 rod to hold up that well, like I'm all for it.
Yeah, that sounds like a good stick if it's holding up to all that, and you can still just like replace guides and still keep using it. That's a really good stick. I had a Dobbins that like the first, like, I don't know, maybe 2 inches broke off of it, and it lasted me like 2 years. And I mean, slight sensitivity loss, but other than that, I didn't have any problems with it.
Yeah, it's more of a little less of the tip on that one. But I was like, I pretty much fish jigs on that rod almost exclusively. So I'm like, man, I don't mind not having, like, it's not like I'm working baits with it or anything like that.
Right. It's not like it's a jerk bait rod or something like that.
A frog rod or something, like where you want, you need the right perfect setup for that, because I've frogged with not frog rods, and I didn't think much of it then, but now I've seen the light, and I'm like, what was I doing for so long? Like, working way too hard for stuff is what I was doing.
Yeah. I've made my mistakes for frog fishing many a times. I know that pain. I remember when I learned what braid was. That would be from frog fishing. That's when I learned that.
Yep.
I was fluorocarbon with a frog, and it does not work at all.
No, not well at all.
No. It's like up Schitt's Creek without a paddle. You're not you're not gonna do well at all. So I have some questions that I kind of
Yeah.
wrote down here, and I thought maybe we just go through some of them. Let's start off here. I want to start with did you start out? So I had Zach on a couple weeks ago, and I want to know: did you start out as a subscriber to the box as well for Dark Horse Tackle? Was that your whole beginnings there?
No, it like so 2024 KS season.
Mm-hmm.
I especially became familiar with like I Dark Horse was familiar to me before then.
Okay.
And I think I'd ordered some baits here or there. Wasn't I was in a position kind of when I really learned about Dark Horse where I was glued to like, the tournament lineup, like the 8 things that I fish all the time.
Gotcha.
And after the 2024 season, and I got to know Josh and Zach along the way of that whole season for the events they showed up with. Had some great conversations. After the season, they asked me if I had any interest in joining the pro staff.
Yeah.
And I kind of, I had a long talk with Zach and explained to him like, this is the direction my life is headed right now. This is, and like, as a fisherman, I'm like, man, I'm really glued to these 8 baits, but
Mm-hmm.
I love the mission of Dark Horse and what I get to say we do now. So
Right.
and what they did then, the small American business, the makers, the creators, the innovators, like where it is truly happening in the little workshops and garages, that nobody hears about and things
Right.
like that. Like that's what I love. I'm one of those people myself. Like behind my laptop right now, there's a tying vise, there's silicone strands all over the place. There's like empty packets, hardhead clear thread cement, and like there's bottles of resin over there. Like, I mean, there's hooks over here and like crankbait blanks. There's a air compressor and an airbrush gun in the other corner.
Yeah. So you got it all ready to
This
go.
is it. Like I've tinkered and made and adjusted and modified like everything.
Yeah.
Forever. So I get it, and I love what they were doing. And so I kind of told him, I was like, look, like if you can help me, like if you can help me replace the things I fish, it's not the bait that I'm married to, it's how it does what it does, right? Like, so
Right. Okay. Okay.
if we can find suitable replacements, like I'm all in. And so they kind of like Zach and Josh started pointing me in the right directions. They set up I got a subscription being part of the pro staff. Tried it out. Like it was kind of a trial
Mm-hmm.
period. I said, let me just do it for whatever, 3 months. We'll reassess. Right.
Right.
And, man, I started full on replacing everything in my lineup very quickly with Dark Horse baits. Like the cheapskate comes to mind.
Right.
Like so many of us, I was stuck. Like the jackhammer was just the best for the
Yeah.
longest time. And the only thing that we all dislike about the jackhammer is it costs $20.
Yeah.
25.
Exactly.
Like that's the only downside that we ever had, that any of us have ever had with it. I'm telling you, the cheapskate is just as good. The Deeks cheapskate, and it costs $7.
7. Yeah.
Like,
Dude.
like,
Yes. Yes.
yeah. So like, I'm not afraid to throw that thing where I was a little nervous to throw a jackhammer a lot of
Mm-hmm.
times and stuff like that. And like that one definitely replaced stuff. And then I started finding new things that do similar things to stuff I was familiar with, maybe a little bit better than some of the old ones. And as the pro staff stuff progressed, the opportunity kind of presented itself to become more than just a pro staff. And so that was, I gave that a lot of thought, like I was like, man, like, do I want to be on the hook for all of this?
No
like,
pun intended.
yeah. Oh, the pun's always intended.
Okay. All right. I get it. I get it.
Whether I intended it in the moment or not. I'll just say it's always intended. But like there's a lot of giants in the tackle industry, and to come in and join, join with Josh and Zach and everyone at Dark Horse, like it was a big step to take, because it's a big risk. I'm self-employed. I don't have a lot of like outside of my own willpower and will work and do things and stuff like that. Like there's not a big safety net under me, so
Right.
it was definitely a pretty hefty decision. And but it's something that I am passionate about. I grew up I grew up with my grandparents, and he was a independent grocer and small business in a small place, and that's what I grew up around.
Yeah.
And I've watched all that fall to the wayside for what I would consider a subpar product. Like it's born out of convenience more than anything, and I don't believe that's the right direction to go.
Right.
And I would rather spend my time building something that is quality, community driven, and has this, has an awareness that is greater than just profit.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of the ideals that attracted me to coming on to joining Dark Horse kind of full time. It's a full on second job. Like I tend to work like 5:30 a.m. to 10 p.m. like 7 days a week.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
With those guys and with the work that it is, I am passionate about it, so it doesn't feel like work, and that helps.
I was about to say, some days it probably doesn't feel like work. It probably just feels like hanging out.
There are
buddies.
some days where I look out the window and I'm like, I could have been fishing today.
Oh, dude, that's what I'm finding out with this stuff.
Yeah, I know I've heard Zach say the joke before. He's like, if you want to not fish as much, own a tackle company.
I can imagine.
It does require
only
so
imagine.
much of our attention, and even when we're on the road doing the KAS this year, we've got iPads and laptops with us, and when we're like not rigging or practicing or like sitting in the tent at night and things like that, like we're sitting there with the website open and we're working on stuff on the back end or building the brochure for the next month, and emailing, chatting back and forth with bait makers and getting things lined up. And there's a lot more moving parts than I think meets the eye. And so we do really appreciate everyone who shops with us and supports what we do, because we seriously can't do it without you.
Right.
So put that right here in the middle of the show. We love all of our subscribers, everyone who shops with us, tries us out, and believes in what we're doing.
I think the best thing about Dark Horse Tackle is the selection. The baits are so good. There's so many on there that it's so hard to choose most of the time, like what my favorite is. Or like I'll go in the shop in intentions to restock on cheapskates, and next thing I know, I'm looking at Weber's, I'm looking at Swim Frats, I'm looking at all kinds of things, dude. I can get lost on that website.
Yes. It's the interesting thing about the bait shop is like, it's not like everyone else is just they have these massive inventories, right? And ours continues to grow, but everything that makes it in there, it wasn't like something where like we call up people and we're like, hey, that looks cool, we should put it in the bait shop. We're like, let me order some packs and try it and fish it for a few months, maybe a year for certain things. Like, we sit there, we test it all and try it. And if it just doesn't, meet our standards, it's not going in the bait shop until we figure out why it should be in here.
Right. Okay.
And so like a lot of the others will just carry brands and their entire line, from start to finish, hard bait, soft baits, terminal, whatever. So it's, like and at some point, like we may carry entire lineups of some of these companies,
Hmm.
in time, because they do make quality products. We're just not big enough that we can just afford it all at once.
Right, right. That
So
makes sense.
small chunks, and working our way. And we also just can't test it all as fast as we
Yeah.
want to. But like, that's the cool thing though, is like, if you do come there and you do shop around, like, know that the three of us, especially, and the members of our pro staff, like, we all test this stuff and we fish it a lot. And if it makes it into the bait shop, it's got the gold seal of approval. So it's, like, when the Kinetic Crawl, which was the former best trailer for the Wee Whacker,
Yeah.
when they discontinued that bait, I think between Zach, Josh, myself, I believe our pro staffer Tyler Bean, like, we tested every trailer under the sun for like a year and a half, everything that came along. And ultimately, I think Tyler, put us in touch with Tactical Fishing Company and with the Tack Toad,
Yep.
and got a pack sent up to, Zach bought a pack. We don't get these things sent to us. Like, we buy all this stuff because we support these guys,
Yeah.
too. And so we got a couple packs of those. We try them out, like, spread the load out, like, all right, let's try this Tack Toad. And it's like, yeah, this is it. Like, this
is money. This is the money.
This is perfect. It like, the legs of that thing never foul on the hook, and it's like, it's the right amount of drag behind the bait to keep it upright all the time. Like, it's fantastic. But it's like, we wouldn't settle, like, we're
Yeah.
like, you could just put this crawl on the back and it does okay. Like, no, I don't want okay. I want perfect.
Perfect. Yeah.
Perfect. It needs to be a perfect pairing. That is why we have perfect pairings, on the website. Because that's the stuff where we've sat there and messed and changed and tried and tinkered and modified. We usually try not to find anything you have to modify.
Hmm.
Not in the perfect pairings, but like, if these two, like, it's just like one of those things, like, these two baits, while they're not made by the same people, oftentimes they may as well
They
have been made for
Yeah,
each
right.
other.
They're made for
Yeah.
each other.
Yep.
Yeah, that Tack Toad and the Wee Whacker, that's on my radar. I don't have any Wee Whackers, but I need
It's
to get hip on that.
phenomenal. I highly, I mean, get your normal, like, confidence colors. I think
Hmm.
most of us are more confident in a blade color than anything else with the buzzbait. But
Yeah.
I think I know, I'm not sure if we have any left right now. So I hate that I have, like, am saying this, because I feel like we just sold the last one the other day. The copper one, the copper blade,
Yeah.
makes a different sound. And
Really?
there are days, there are a lot of days where that copper will get bit over everything else, and I swear it's just because it makes a little bit different sound when it hits that bead.
Okay.
But at this point,
Which is
like,
funny because that was the one I was eyeballing when I was looking at him. Was the copper one?
that's my favorite one. I fish the I like the pink blade in the bushwhackers too, because when I'm fishing that dirty water, I don't know what it is. I don't think they're getting a good look at the blade too much anyway, but I've always leaned on pink as a reactive color. I think they just
Yeah.
react to that color better than a lot of things. I like those bushwhacker pros in the pink blade, and I usually stick. I usually stick one of the big bitters, like 5.5-inch swim baits on there, because
Okay.
that's the one you can thread it all the way up the
Yeah.
wire, and so that hook's still way out the back, but you get that big giant presence of that big swim bait on there, and it's plenty of drag with that big boot tail that it just keels it nice, and yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's a
Yeah, that's
good
nice.
combo.
That sounds like a good combo. Yeah.
But that one, dirty water, like, I've fished those things enough where, like, the brass bead on the that it clacks against have
Yeah.
worn grooves in the blades.
That's some serious work on that buzzbait.
I love them. I love them. So that's my testament to how much I actually use these baits.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever worn a buzzbait blade down before. So
It's cool that you said something about that because I mean, I know that you guys test everything, but like I've never thought about it because like you couldn't go to like a tackle warehouse employee, just for instance, and be like, hey, can you tell me the last 5 lures that you got to test out that came out to market
yeah.
on the, and they probably couldn't even give you one.
And like my first question, like I love talking to people at the expos about this stuff because like
Yes. Yeah.
my first question is like, if somebody asks me like, what's good? What do you fish with? What do you like? My first question is like to them is, what do you fish for? How do
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
like to fish? What do you
Yeah.
fish for? How do you like to fish? And that's the thing is Zach, myself, and Josh, we all fish very differently. Like we have a lot of
Mm-hmm.
similarities, a lot of crossover. But there's certain like our chats are funny, like between the three of us. Like we'll be like Zach will be like, I don't like this bait. Josh and I'll be like, I love it. Like, what don't you like about it? Because it's awesome. And it's just because our styles are all different. So like,
Right.
But I do love that about the expos and talking with people. Cause like, if I don't have quite the right answer, if they give me something, I'm like, you need to talk to this guy right here. Cause that's exactly how he fishes. And he's going to have the best advice for you and what we have. And then, other guys like, especially when I meet fellow river rats, I'm like, look,
Mm-hmm.
like this, and this. Like nobody throws these things because nobody has these things to throw or nobody tries
Yep.
it like to do it like this and stuff like that. Like it's, um, so I can point people in different directions and I keep learning more too. Cause like,
Yeah.
not everybody makes these little, like kind of like call them finesse spinner baits or something like that. Like the Martin's morsel, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like there's not a ton of spinner baits that were made for bass in that size. Like I know there's, Booyah with the Pond Magic and
Pod
some other.
Magic. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a couple other like things like that, but even those, I think the Pond Magics are still 2 blades. Like,
Yeah.
or another one that comes to mind is Battle Baits, the Commando.
Oh, yeah.
The
The
skirtless spinner bait.
minigun?
Yeah, minigun Commando, the one that doesn't have a skirt. You just
Yeah.
one single blade. Um, you know, it's introduced me to a whole line of baits that are that cater to power fishing in clear
Mhm.
water. You could like there's days where like especially in the fall where like like maybe if it's a low clear fall, like you can't get away with throwing a full size spinner bait a lot of times.
Right.
Those fish may follow it and turn off. There's something about it that they just don't like it's just too much presence, too much clatter, flash, whatever it may be, that they're just not going to eat it. But like Zach and I had a day on the Allegheny where like both of us were throwing spinner baits. I decided to switch and like pair down to the morsel, and I started out fishing, in the same areas. Just started out fishing them because the morsel was just not off-putting to them in that lower clear water.
Yeah.
So it really opened up my eyes to like a whole new line of things that I can do that are really how I like to fish. Like, of course, we all want to just chuck and wind and catch fish if we can.
All day
Um,
long if you can.
yeah. But on the flip side of that, Zach's never been a jig fisherman. And
Mhm.
that bass dope pillhead, I was like, look, man, like don't fish it like a jig, fish it like and I took him out to the river and I kind of showed him how to like drift a jig in the current, and
Yeah.
he's a changed man. I was like, this is different. It's different. Put a swim bait, like a bait fish profile on this, like as a trailer. And I said,
Mhm.
don't think of it like a crawl that needs to crawl up over stuff. And like, I was like, drift it in the current, like a little minnow trying to dart down the river.
Yeah.
There's just different ways to fish things. And it's a cool world that, we try to we're trying to build that community too. Like all three of us are always accessible via social platforms and the support email and stuff, to answer questions about baits, or like if you're planning a trip somewhere. I've fished all over the country, and I've got at least recommendations, or some advice that I could probably give to, wherever you may be going. If you're thinking about, stocking up a few things on a trip or something you want to try, like, again, tell me how you like to fish, and I can probably put something new in your lineup to try that's kind of right in that same vein.
But something different that you haven't
Yeah,
seen. Yeah.
yep.
Yeah.
And that a lot of fish haven't seen too. Like, there's pressured
Yeah.
fisheries that just I've seen. I mean, I've got I've got plenty of those stories, but especially this spring. Like, I went to one of the most pressured public bodies of water that I know, and it's not big. And I took that swim frat out there, caught a 9
I was
pound.
gonna say, I know what we're
Like,
about to top out.
yeah, like,
That's so funny is I have a question on here that says, can we talk about the 9-pound bass you caught this year? It is literally what the question is.
okay, so it's like, full disclosure, no, it was not a 9-pounder. It was 8 pounds, 15 and a half ounces, all 3 times the scale locked in. So it's not a true 9-pounder.
True, but it's
It's
close.
not a
It's
true
really,
9-pounder.
really close.
It's about as close as you could be without it being one.
Yeah.
Because my scale does not go, I think, in anything more than maybe quarter ounces. I'm not even sure if it
Okay.
does quarter. It might go from halves to just full ounces. So I'm like, but it kept tipping 9. I'm like, oh my God, lock in at 9. All 3 times, 8, 15 and a half. So not a true 9-pounder, but, like, I mean, maybe as close as I may ever see in Ohio.
Yeah.
I know places where I think I could beat that, but that's, right time, right place, all that jazz. But this place is, it's not a big place. I mean, 40 to 50 acres at best. It's very accessible, gets fished a lot from the bank, a lot from kayaks, canoes, and things like that. And I do truly believe that bait helped me get that bite, because I know for a fact that they have never seen a swimming rat, in that
Yeah.
place.
Yeah.
If they've seen a rat lure, it's the typical rat wake bait on top. Not one under the surface, not fished the way that I was fishing it. Not one that you can float the way that I was kind of floating it next to this log. Like, not on the surface, but like popping slack and just keeping it hovering right next to this log.
Yeah.
I watched that thing come out and just suck it in. I did not realize it was as big as it was when it ate it. The water was a little dingy. I saw the flash and I knew it was a big fish, but I was like, I set the hook, and it wasn't until, like, my hand was in its mouth and I haul it into the boat. And I'm like, oh my God, this thing's way bigger than I thought it was when it came out from that log.
That's crazy.
So yeah, it was to do that in a tournament too. Like, I was fishing a local tournament. It was like, I was like, oh my God, I think all I have to do is catch 5 fish today, and I think I win. And it ended up being one of the best spring largemouth days I've had in a very long time.
Nice.
So I bounced around from a handful of lakes, and I think I ended up with like 90, 98 and like 3/4 inch. It was nuts for the amount of time I actually fished, because there was a lot more time dragging to and from these places and driving between them all and things like that.
Yeah.
But I do truly believe that, like, having a bait that a fish has never seen before in a place that gets a lot of pressure, like, I think they think about it a lot less, as far as like, I've seen spinner baits, I've seen, bladed jigs, I've seen Senkos and stick worms and, poppers and this and that. And, like, you have to work for those fish a lot harder, in pressured fisheries. And yeah, that for that thing to just come out and just, it didn't think about it. I mean, I watched it come out from the log, turn, and the swim frat just disappeared. I was like, oh, that's a big one. And yeah, that was I didn't have my scale with me in the boat either when I caught it. Like, but I had fish.
Oh,
I had my fish grips like tethered on my kayak, so I was like,
yeah.
I have to go back up to go get the thing. So I wasn't far from the. I mean, it's not a big place.
Yeah.
I wasn't like, but I was like a stone's throw from the actual launch. So I was like, I'll just beach the boat, put it on the grips, and if it swims away, it swims away. I've already got my picture for the event, but
Yeah.
you know, if it is still down here, at least I get a weight too, and weight it, and you know, like, and that allowed it some time to rest too, because you know, like fish care
Yeah.
is pretty important, especially you know with big fish and with all fish really. And so you always try to minimize the time out of water because that I think at least I've heard and read about recently, and I think listened to on podcast recently is one of the biggest determining factors of delayed mortality is actual time spent out, like
Time.
cumulative time spent out of the water. Now it doesn't have to be an all in
It
one
doesn't have
chunk.
to. Yeah.
It can be constant up and down, you know. Yeah, like where it's like if it adds up to like over like a minute and a half, like delayed mortality increases pretty exponentially. And something I guess kind of been aware of, but never to the degree I am now.
Yeah.
So yeah, like handling all those fish with care, and if you're doing pictures, keep them in the water as much as possible. Like very quick up picture and let it go. Like get the picture you need and be done with it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
So
as quick as possible. There's been many days I don't even get the picture. I'm like, all right, I got the moment. I enjoyed the moment. I'm putting you back.
yeah, that's the beauty of running a GoPro. Is like
Yeah.
I have all the video, you know, and that's where I grabbed all my still shots from. You know, it was like it cool. Like you're in the
Yep.
make sure I stop recording to save that video, and I've got pictures on top of the video.
Yeah.
So yeah, like there's technology exists, and it can help us be you know better stewards of the you know the fisheries and the fish and stuff like that. So it's pretty easy to find you know old GoPros on marketplace and things like that, and they all work really well. So
Yeah. Oh yeah. So with the camera I use for the podcast is a Action 4 DJI. Well, I think it's 4. But I don't have a kayak or anything. So it's just mainly normally chesty, and that thing can get a
Mhm.
little cumbersome after a few hours of being
yeah,
like in a creek or walking around. Period.
that's I want to add. I think I'm gonna start like at least clipping one maybe of my PFD just to get that like
Yeah.
forward shot, like point of view angle and
Yeah.
things like
The
that.
first person PFV.
Yeah, yeah. I remember like the
Eli.
9 pounder. I didn't even have my camera arm behind me. I think I took 2 packs of plastics and two rods down to that like lake with me. It's a pretty steep hill, and I was like the least amount of stuff in this boat, the better, because this is not a fun drag at the end. Like
Back
when I
up.
leave
Yeah.
here, yeah.
That sounds
So that's
terrible.
like I didn't have a scale. I had like my measuring board, identifier, 2 packs of plastics, and 2 rods. I think is all I had. No motor, just a
Well,
paddle. Like I paddled that whole event because I knew I was gonna like run and gun a handful of small bodies
yeah.
of water and call them big ponds. Really, like it was a lot of fun. I haven't done that in a long time, and just call it right time, right place. Like I just chose wisely, fished my strengths, and just ran through it and had a pretty awesome day doing it.
That's sick. And then you had was that the chartreuse frat that you had on?
That was the black one for that
That was the
day.
black one for
I'll
that
tell you
day?
what though, that yeah, the 9 pounder ate the black one. The chartreuse one though, when the water is what we're seeing a lot of in Ohio
Yeah.
right now, I wouldn't throw anything but the chartreuse one.
Yeah,
Like that
that's what I
shot,
was thinking.
it like it glows. It
Yeah.
doesn't actually glow, but like there is like when you look at it through polarized glasses, like you can see this like green ball. The light like reflects off of it weird, and like
Mm-hmm.
there's this chartreuse aura around it. And I have been bit in chocolate milk water way more on that green one, that bright chartreuse one, than any other color.
Okay.
Not that they make a lot of colors. There's only 3 colors to choose
Right. I
from.
was gonna
But
say
that
they don't
green,
make many
yeah,
colors.
dude, that bright green one absolutely shines in the chocolate milk. I don't know if it's they can see it better or it contrasts better in that dirty water or if it
Hmm.
throws more light. I really have. I think it may throw more light the way that it like sunlight reflects off
Sunlight
that
reflects
green.
off it. Yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Whereas like the glow bone, it's absorbing that
Yeah.
light into the
Yeah.
actual glow in the dark, pigments that are in there. The black is probably my top choice for like crystal clear water.
Okay.
Because black is an incredibly natural color.
Yeah.
That mid stain, like 18 inches to 2 foot, I like the white one is generally my go-to. But when it drops below 18 inches of visibility into that foot or less range, that green is the only thing I'm touching.
Yeah.
They all have their place, and I know that color green is most of us have not fished that color before.
No, that's like the most radioactive
It's bright.
chartreuse I've ever seen.
I was when we got our tester baits from Michael at Sack Pig, he sent us 1 pack with 1 of each color.
Hmm.
And Zach had first dibs, so he took the black one. He sent me with the other 2 back to Ohio. And it wasn't a mistake. I kind of knew the answer to it before I even asked, but I was like, I'm gonna let my 5-year-old son choose which color I get. Of course, he picks the bright green one.
The bright green one.
And so I gave the white one to Josh, and I immediately took it out, and like, I think the first time I threw it was in like upper 40s degree waters,
Hmm.
like like cold but warming, but
Yeah.
it was like straight chocolate milk, and I was crushing them on it, and I
That's
was like,
sick.
huh, okay. And I have since gone back and fished chocolate milk with the other 2 colors, and I've had fish swat at it. I've caught some fish on it, but those same days, just to compare, I've swapped back over to the green, and I've
Hmm.
like outfished myself like 3-1 on the green.
Okay.
There, I'm not exactly sure why, but there is something to that bright chartreuse in really dirty water that they can key in on just a little bit better.
Yeah, I haven't had my luck on that. Well, I guess now since the water's muddied up around, that's probably my go-to here for a little while,
It's,
to be honest. But my luck had been on the black. I've been having a lot of luck on the black.
I think that's been the top seller. We've had to restock
Yeah,
the black
I
already,
saw
which is
that.
no big surprise. Like, I mean, we all kind of
Right,
saw that coming, but
right.
like, I try to push the green because it has a huge application that I think is going to be overlooked, and I know that it's a scary color. Like,
Yeah,
if
it's
you're
a
not
little
used to it,
intimidating.
like, you're like, this is not going to catch. Like, what do I like? What do I do with this color? It wouldn't have been my top choice either, but like, I learned very quickly the power of that color, and I'm trying to share the knowledge. um, Trying to share this so that you guys get to experience this too without having to wait 5 years to tie it on and then realize, oh
Oh.
man, this is really good. Like, um
Yeah, dude.
I'm big on reactive crazy colors, so
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I don't blame you. So, then do you like the expo this year, Columbus Fishing Expo? Did you pick up any of the pink lemonade munchies?
no, but I have I don't think Josh has run the color since the very first batch of munchies.
Yeah.
And I can't even remember what it's called, but it is straight black and chartreuse. Like,
Oh, okay.
yeah, it's a black and chartreuse laminate. And that chartreuse it's not swim fret green, but it's swim fret green bright. It's loud,
Okay.
very, very loud. And that's been a good favorite in dirty water too. I'm still kind of the nose hook fluke thing is still, it's not new at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still I'm still learning it. Kind of like I'm
Okay.
still trying to figure out like where it's best applicable.
Gotcha. Okay.
And I'm honing it in. I'm very much honing it in. And I fished the belly slot ones, and they
Yeah.
work, but there is a whole different action in the nose hook that I
Yeah.
like a lot more. It's something about it is far more natural, and the slower like float fall, like it
Yeah.
just everything about it just feels more natural, and I'm really trying to push that a little bit more, and figure that out a little bit more. And
Mm-hmm.
I've been catching plenty of fish on the nose hook fluke deal, the munchie, things like that, but I'm still kind of learning I think the power of its application,
Gotcha.
and
Okay.
exactly where to
Where it fits
apply
in the
it. Yeah,
puzzle.
right.
Yeah.
And there's some stuff that I've like kind of had my eyes open to over the winter. Stuff that's in some of Tim Holschlag's books that were like he wrote like a river smallmouth book and like small creeks and streams book. And there's
I
some
think I
stuff in that
have the
river.
Small
Yeah,
Creeks and Streams book. I think I know
it's
which one you're talking
phenomenal.
about.
That's the one I'd recommend to like most people. I'd say, like if you were going to just pick one up, the river one has a lot of information into it, like in it, but there's a lot of, I think, a lot more overlooked stuff in
Okay.
that Small Creeks and Streams ones that I think a lot of people just don't think about, and that's where I fish the most anyways, is smaller, like, or even our rivers are small, like
Yeah.
in Ohio in general, but especially central Ohio, like they're kind of creeks elsewhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's some stuff in that river book where I think when the conditions set up a little bit better for it, I'm gonna really put it to work in this specific application, and I think that's a place where the munchie can really shine.
Really shine.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's cool. So you like bright colors. When I had Zach on, he said he was gonna be pushing Michael to make a pink swim fret. What's your thoughts on that?
I love it. So with the
Yeah.
bright colors in general, like I fish Ohio.
Yeah.
I spend a lot of time on like rivers and creeks and places that don't get the absolute snot beat out of them.
Mm-hmm.
If I make the drive over to the Great Miami or something like that place gets hammered pretty good.
Yeah, it
There's
does.
a lot of people, but like over here, like I've spent like some of the most beautiful summer days floating 12 miles, or motoring or floating 12 miles of like Big Darby or something, and I won't see a
Mm-hmm.
soul. Um, Not that people don't fish it, it's just that I'm surprised at how few people I run into, and I think part of
Yeah.
that is the amount of private land that kind of butts up against it. But I mean, plenty of people own kayaks at this point and can do
Oh
that
yeah.
thing. But the lakes, Ohio's public lakes, inland lakes and bodies of water, like they see more boats and anglers than like I would say like anglers per acreage of our lakes. Like this, they get absolute beat to death. I grew up on Indian Lake, like a
Uh.
short bike ride away from Indian, which
Yeah.
there is a bass boat tournament on that lake. What, like 7 8 months out of the year, 7 days a week. Between the John boat tournaments and the state trails, regional trails, just weekend trails, like weeknight leagues, whatever. There's boat tournaments, 1 to 2 of like boat tournaments 7 days a week on that lake. And when the fish are only in so much of the water, right? So you're always, I don't care what day you go out, you're always fishing behind someone, whether
Yeah.
it was a guy from last night or a guy that just went through there 15 minutes ago. You're constantly fishing behind people. And I've found the power of like I refer to them as reactive colors, like your bright pinks, a Papa Chartreuse or bright orange or something like an orange kicker blade on a spinnerbait, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like just a real bright, flashy pop of color in a lot of
Yeah.
things can make all the difference. This the tournament in Indiana this year, like we found a spawning pocket that, like, it was evident it was a spawning pocket because about every bass boat on the lake kept going in there and then making a big, making the big loop and coming out.
Yeah.
And after a while, you see what everybody's throwing, and I was like, all right, like, there's one guy that's flipping the pads, and the other guy's throwing something more on the edges, and maybe a little bit more in the middle of the channel, and it's always like a natural colored, chatterbait or swim jig or something like that. And I was like, man, I'm gonna put the pink shad on.
Yeah.
I like watch this bass boat run through an area, and I pull in. I'm just following them along, like just giving them appropriate distance, being respectful of the space. But I pull right through an area where they flipped and thrown a bladed jig and came up with nothing. I roll right through there with the pink shad and catch one. Catch like a 17.5, like right off the edge of the
Wow.
pads. I'm like, that guy just put a chatterbait there. Like, but everybody's throwing green pumpkin, like
Right.
I'll just scream something by him that's bright white and pink, and that fish choked the heck out of that thing. So when you're going behind a whole bunch of people, like, throw these crazy colors, because they've seen, and in any given week, they've seen a green pumpkin bladed jig 40, 50 times.
Yeah.
They might have seen it 40, 50 times in that day. So it's not just a dirty water thing. Red crankbaits. We talked about the lava crawl wobbler.
Yeah.
If I just can't get bit on something, like, I just pick up a bright red crankbait. I've learned that from some I think I learned that from Steve Baker and Russ Snyder's. Like, there's something about it. Like, it's a reactive color. You're digging it in the bottom. It's being really erratic, and it's a color that they just, they can see it clean water and dirty water. Like, they can really pinpoint that thing and see it. And they just, a lot of times it's not hungry fish. It's just, you got it close enough and one just reacted to it.
Yep.
It's there, it's loud, it's in their face. It's, it's like, like if you've ever been in a really crowded space and there's that one guy that's just like too close and kind of annoying, but you don't, or like in the back of your mind, you're like, man, if there was ever a time that I wish I could just smack someone right now,
Yep.
the fish don't have the conscience to hold themselves back from smacking that someone, right? And your bait, your loud, crazy bait, is that someone that should be smacked, and they smack it. That's kind of how I think about it.
I love that analogy.
Yeah, that's what you're doing. You're kind of forcing them into it somehow.
Yeah.
At least it's what I believe. That's certainly my experience with it. Is like, if I can't get bit, I very rarely, and sometimes to a fault, I very rarely slow down or downsize. I tend to go faster. I usually increase speed before I try a whole lot of other things.
Okay.
And that
I typically slow down. That's crazy. I normally am like slow down guy. I never speed up.
I learned from, I can't remember his name. Greg Hawk. He's a boat tournament guy throughout the state of Ohio, but I remember him talking specifically about Indian Lake and in the summertime, and he mentioned the same thing. He said that lake probably sees more pressure than any body of water in the state of Ohio from tournament pressure.
Yeah.
And he said, if I'm having a rough day, he said, and I've got a bite flipping pads, and everybody else has got a bite flipping pads. He said, when it gets tough, he said, a lot of people downsize. They go lighter, smaller. He said, I'll go to a 2-ounce weight and put a 5-inch creature bait on and go flip that in the pads, because it drops like an absolute rocket past them, and they only have that split second to react to it.
Yeah.
You know, you're only looking for 5 bites in that situation. So, and a lot of times when you're offering a big meal like that, that's moving by them really fast, like, you tend to get the bites you want. You might go a little longer between a couple bites, but I remember him saying that, and then, you know, it took me a couple of years to really apply it and learn it and build the confidence in doing it. But there's definitely something to it. And you know, the speed aspect of it, though, was what I always truly remembered. It wasn't necessarily like that he's going to a bigger bait or whatever. It was like he's going to a heavy weight because it goes faster.
Yeah.
It goes faster by that fish. And so, like, you know, a lot of times I'll throw a 9-to-1 or you know, like 9-to-1 reel, like bigger spool, just so that I can move things as fast as I can humanly move them. Because you can't move them too fast for the fish. They can always catch up to it.
Yep.
I think the biologists have figured that out. Like even on the fastest reel on the market, like the bass can catch up to it, like effortlessly catch up to it. So as fast as you can reel those like 10, is there there's like an 11-to-1, I feel like now.
There might be. I know there was a 10-to-1, but
there's definitely 10 speeds. But like, you know, like your big spool, like massive, like really fast line pickup, which is what you should look at, not necessarily the gear ratio. Actually look at how much line per turn that reel picks up, because it varies from brand to brand and spool size. That's an important factor. But yeah, like speed is such a important factor to getting fish to react. And I think it's often an overlooked thing. Like, people are like, maybe I'm not throwing the right color, or maybe it's this, maybe it's that. It's like, no, just go faster. Try going faster.
Huh. I'm gonna try that next time when, like, I got a chatterbait on and I have the intent, like, my brain goes, all right, just slow down. I'm gonna reverse it. I'm gonna try to go faster and see if
it's
changes
definitely
it.
worth a shot. I try it before I try, like, slowing down and going, you know, like, and downsizing and things like that. But oftentimes going faster, it might not be the way to catch all the fish in the area, but it at least tells you much more quickly if there are fish in an area. So then you got that 1-2 punch, right? Like, okay, now I know that I'm around them because you caught the one burning something through there. Now slow down and go back in and see if you can pick a couple more off.
Okay. Yeah, and now the time to throw that wacky rigged rig
Yeah,
stick.
because if you're trying to cover water, you know, fishing a wacky rig, it's tough.
Oh, you're gonna be there a while, dude.
Exactly. I've always told people, it's like, look, like, they're not that smart. Like, they get conditioned, but their biology, especially as a cold-blooded creature, like, especially when it's hot, like, they have to eat. They have to fuel that metabolism because they have no choice. So you can throw the wrong thing in the right place and get bit.
Yep.
And that's important to know. Because if you are throwing the wrong thing and you get bit, you're in the right place.
Yeah.
Make a couple more laps. Like, rotate some baits and make a couple more laps in those areas, because there's a reason that one was there. And if that one was there, there's probably more.
Yeah.
And that's where you can fine tune things. And I usually start with that thing that I am throwing. I'll make a couple laps with it, see if I can get bit again, because then it might tell me, like, oh, I do have the right thing. Or, okay, I got bit once. Let me change the blade color. Let me change, maybe instead of a spinnerbait, I'll throw a swim jig, you know, something a little more subtle. Or, you know, start making those little tweaks and adjustments to the presentation in that general area where you've maybe got bit once or twice. And then you can really fine tune and figure out, you know, a better offering to what they may be really keyed in on.
Yeah. I like that idea, because then I like the idea of like not completely changing your frame of mind, but taking what you already are kind of in the area of what you're thinking of and just either adding or subtracting, it almost sounds
It's
like.
yeah, just kind of expanding, like expanding what you've learned, right? Like it's all
Yeah.
puzzle. It's like it's clues. Like everything's a little clue, right? Like it's all like you have those banner days sometimes where it's like they just wanted the thing that you started with. And it's
Yes.
phenomenal, right? Like we all love those days. But the reality of that happening every time you go out, it's like slim to none, man.
That's that right. You
It
have
just
better
yeah,
chance winning the lottery.
right. So but confidence is the most important thing that you can tie on. Like that's the
Yeah.
best thing that you can tie on the end of your rod. Something that you're
Yes.
confident that you're going to catch something. Because if you do that, you throw it confidently. Like
Mm-hmm.
you feel like your brain is telling you it's going to be this cast. It's going to be this cast. It's going to, over and over and over again, and you're able to work through that puzzle, I think, more efficiently and more effectively. But that can be a double-edged sword, because that thing that you're confident in, if you do get one bite on it,
It's locked in.
it's hard to put it down, right?
Yeah.
Where but just be cognizant of that, like, okay, I got bit on it, but now it's been an hour since I got a bite on it. Let me go back to that other area,
Mm-hmm.
and work through it with something. Like force yourself to do that, and I almost guarantee that you're gonna start figuring out, like, oh no, there were a lot more here. I just didn't have it quite right.
Yeah.
Um, look at how the fish ate it too. Did it absolutely choke it? Was it hooked, up front on the outside of the mouth? Like there's a lot of clues that the fish will give you if you're paying attention, like especially crankbaits, treble hook baits. If they're hooked just outside the mouth, it's like they just swatted at
Mm-hmm.
it. They're there. He reacted to it. You're close to, you're close to finding something that they'll eat. But I think maybe I will often slow down if I'm catching a lot of fish on the outside of the mouth on like crankbaits and treble hook baits and stuff like that, because that means there's a lot there, because a lot of times they're swatting at stuff like out of
Mm-hmm.
competitiveness, because there are other
Oh,
fish
okay.
there, right? Like so if there are 15 fish in an area, that one wants to get it first, especially if there's others right in the same bush or tree or something like that. Like there's a competitive feeding that happens,
Yeah.
and so sometimes it's more that the fish reacted to your bait than anything else. It was just the fish ate it because it was like, well, if I don't eat it, he's gonna eat it.
Yeah.
And but cycling back through and slowing down, especially if they're just swatting at those treble hook baits hooked on the outside of the mouth, like go back around and soak a jig, or throw that wacky worm, flip some bushes. Like doesn't I'm not saying it has to be small, and I'm not saying it has to fall slow, like, but play around with it, because there's probably more fish there, and a lot of times, like a lot of places, you get bit.
Yeah.
There is something to be said too about just absolutely burning water and just catching the active fish. Um,
Yeah.
if you've got a limited amount of time and you've got the ability to just go, um, you know, it suits some of us better. It certainly suits me better if I can just keep on the gas and just go, 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 and just you know never stop throwing at stuff. I'm usually doing just as well in any five fish limit type format, but you know I know that like in the back of your head, like, man, I probably just left like quality fish back there, but I spent 15 minutes, they weren't going to bite, or they weren't
Right.
ready to. Maybe they will on my way back through.
Yeah.
you know so it's they're in rough schools. Like they don't school like crappie or anything like that, but they do tend to group up in areas for specific reasons on any given day. So one bite is never a fluke to me. I usually try and ask myself why that fish was there, and look at how he ate the bait and try and figure out, another way to catch him, or maybe a more effective way to catch more.
Yeah. I think that's sounds like an amazing way to put a pattern together, especially if you're in a tournament situation, or even if you are just out fun fishing. You're just trying to have a day where
yeah.
you're
I mean, fun
get as
fishing,
many
you're
you
still
want.
figuring out the puzzle too.
Yeah,
I'd say
exactly.
the tournament thing is just that you've legitimately got an 8-hour clock.
you put a time constraint on it.
Yeah, you've got a time constraint. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Which is one. I mean, that's one of the things that really attracts me to tournament fishing. It's less being competitive against others. Like, I
Hmm.
like to win and I like to do well, but more than anything, I like putting those restrictions on what I can do, can't do, how fast I can do it, how fast can I figure it out. Can I figure it out better than myself yesterday?
Right. Yeah.
Because every day is a little bit different. These fish are always moving and adjusting, and the puzzle may be mostly the same, but this corner piece and this corner piece got switched today.
Yes.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
I
And
love my smallmouth, and I think I heard Seth Feider say it once on Champlain or something. He's like, well, the only thing you can count on a smallmouth for is that you can't count on it, because all his fish should move overnight. And it
yeah.
took him 4 hours to find him again.
Jeez.
So yeah, they're they're fish. They move. They have the
They're
ability
live
to move.
animals.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
they yeah,
They're
they
not,
move, man.
they're not bound by the pages of a book about bass fishing. They can do whatever.
No, not
Yeah.
at all, dude. Not at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I had asked Zach and Eli, who I've had on as well, their favorite item in the Beyond the Baits section. Because I think it's fun to talk about the baits and everything, but you also have Beyond the Baits section. So what is
Beyond
your
the
favorite thing?
baits. Ooh, on the spot.
I know it's on the spot.
Beyond the baits.
I will say the Zach, I believe, called out the Nakwa battery, and I
Man,
believe Eli
see, I
called
could
out the Broken Twigs landing net.
landing nets. See, I just got a Broken Twigs landing net, and I'm not a big net person.
Okay.
I fish a lot more single hook, straight braid, just flip them in the boat type stuff.
Yep.
Or big baits, even my big, I fish big baits that are treble hook, but that's the same deal. It's heavy line, big, you just kind of swing them on their own momentum.
Yeah.
In the wintertime, that net is 100% crucial, because when you're fishing jerk baits with those little tiny trebles and
Trebles.
dude, you're asking for it. Not
Yeah.
having a net. Also, it keeps your hands out of the water, which when it's getting cold,
when it's cold, dude. Yeah.
keeps you in the game longer.
Yeah.
So I could speak highly of the net, but that one's, I don't feel like I've used it long enough to have the credibility to say the net.
Okay.
I think I've got to give the shout out to. I think I'm going to give the shout out to Yak Gadget, because I have
Okay.
since 2016. I think I bought my first kayak in 2016,
Okay.
and I have I usually rig and go through there are four boats in my garage right now. I love to rig them. I love to mess around and find different things and get creative with how I rig things. And I got to say, there's certain things that have been on multiple boats that I could not do without John at Yak Gadget. Certain the micro rod stagers is definitely one of those things that immediately jumps out in my mind. Since I got those, I don't know, when he came out with those, I feel like it was 3-4 years ago, but I think I've had them that long from the beginning, and they end up going on every boat that I have.
Wow.
I run them a little bit differently. I usually try and find a way to have a section where I can store rod butts, and I'll actually take one half of the stager and stick it behind for rod tip management.
Oh, okay.
I don't like vertical rods behind me because of overhead, problems, especially if you're in swift water. Like if I actually, so the way I rig it is I don't like anything over my head. I want everything to be at my head level or below, because I know if my head clears it, everything else on my boat will.
Okay,
So
that makes sense.
it's one less thing to think about. But I rods in particular, I like those to almost be as low as I can get them without like scraping in the water or getting like wrapped on any parts of the motor in the back. Just and those rod stagers, like I would have a tangled up mess all the time.
Yeah.
Because I'm able, like, just with the one half of the micro stager, I'm able to put two rods in, on each side with very little trouble with tangles. And
Okay.
so, I could have two rods in front of me and four off to one side if I really wanted to. I try just to limit myself to four a lot of times, but that way it just keeps the clutter down. And so I'm gonna give the shout out to Yak Gadget because of specifically those rod stagers, but I use his offset front anchor pulley and a
Yeah.
handful of other things that just I like better than a lot of other things, as far as rigging options go. But I rig so many boats, and that's one of my, probably the top item I recommend is always that rod stager, the micro rod stager. That's my favorite one. I don't like a lot of things on the side of the boat because I get in and out of it a lot, especially in the river,
Yeah.
dragging up or down shoals or rapids and stuff like that. So like, I don't like the rods right there all the time. But those things still serve a very, very big purpose for me in just about every kayak I've been in for the last 4 years, I think. 3-4 years.
Okay. I like that each person I've had on now from Dark Horse has had a different answer. That's sick. I'm glad that nobody's picked the same thing, because then now everybody that's listened can hear a plethora of other items from the Beyond the Baits section.
I think I know what Josh would pick too. Like I think he'd be
Yeah.
Evo outdoors.
Should I? Okay.
think.
Okay.
I don't know. That's my
That-
guess. I could be wrong.
All right. All right. Well, I gotta get him. When I get him on next, I will. I'll ask him and want to see
I
what
would
he
also
says.
give honorable, because we now have Kayak Cushion, and I would give them honorable mention because
Ooh.
I've had a kayak cushion on my kayak since the very first kayak cushions, when there were only like 6 colors and it was like one cam strap. It's like it's still on my boat. Like I run the low seat on the shoalie to get my weight
Yeah.
forward, but I double stack kayak cushions to get myself up a little bit higher. So I'm still actually using my original kayak cushion under the
That's
new one.
awesome. That's
So
awesome.
they do hold up. They're awesome. But yeah, honorable mention goes to kayak cushion.
That's sick. That's awesome. Well, Ryan, this has been a blast, and I have taken up a lot of your time, and I really do appreciate it, my man.
Yeah.
Would you like to shout out where any of my listeners could find you at?
Yeah, best place to follow along is Parker Fishing 1242. I have a terribly common name, and that's why the numbers. So Parker Fishing 1242 on Instagram is probably the best place to follow along. And then, of course, I pop up all the time in the Dark Horse feed, and come join us on our lives. Dark Horse does a live 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Thursday.
I'm so sad I never get
every
to join
Thursday.
because I have to go to bed early because I get up at 4 a.m. to go to work. So like I never get to join. I always watch it the day after.
Day after,
I-
you
yeah.
missed the sales. We've started doing
I know.
our little like pop-up
Yeah.
sales just for the lives. Last night was all top water too. That was a good one.
Yeah, I haven't got to listen yet. I'm gonna have to listen here today.
Check out that new Excite popper because it's a half ounce like that.
Yeah, so
that
you
freaking thing.
actually, when you said that, I was talking to Eli the other day, and he was like, "You're going out topwater fishing, but you're not gonna throw your new Excite popper." And I was like, "Dude, I think my medium heavy might be too much for it." But after talking with you, I think it'll be fine.
Yeah, just and it's not even like you might just watch the trebles. They're not little. They're not like crankbait, like jerkbait trebles. They're not super thin wire. Like you can you can pull on a fish. But like I would say if there were going to be a fail point between a medium heavy and that popper, it would be straightening a treble a little bit. But if you just lean into them, you'll be fine. I think you'll be fine.
Oh, if I throw
it at all tomorrow, I'm going to be throwing it on a medium heavy because that's just what I have.
And you guys sent me the nightmare color, like the black and the blue.
Dope.
It's so dope. It's so dope. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get that out.
I was like, when I got to see them all in person, I was like, I only want to buy 3 of these right now, but they're all really good. Bad Shad and Clearly Bone.
Clearly Bone.
Ultimately, the 3 that I ended up with were Clearly Bone, which is like a translucent bone color. It's really cool.
It's really cool looking.
So that one, Bad Shad, which is matte. It's like matte clown colored. Like there's like green and pink and yellow, like chartreuse on it.
Oh, okay.
Like just on the ends. But it's all matte. The whole finish is matte. It's really cool. And then I got Nightmare because if I had like at a baseline, I got to have a white one and a black one.
That's where I'm at. I get white and black. That's my go-to on poppers. Mainly any top waters, but especially popper.
Yep. All right, that we're before we go down any more rabbit holes because I will go down.
Hey, I'll have you on again, and I'll just label it rabbit holes, and then we're free to go, and we'll just go. We'll go down the hole.
I'm all about it. All about it, dude.
I'm down for it, Ryan. This has been great, man. I really appreciate it. You enjoy the rest of your night, man.
Yeah, you too. Thanks for having me.
Hey, thanks, man.
Man, that was a lot of knowledge dropped by Ryan Parker.
Yeah, dude. That guy, I think Ryan Parker might be like a wind-up toy.
The Fishadex?
Yeah, but like, you know how like on a wind-up toy, you wind the thing up? Ryan, you just fishing. And then it just goes. And I mean, I love it because it was great because the amount of knowledge he gives out, you can feel his passion for dark horse. And I mean, just his passion for fishing, period. So it was a great conversation, and I can't wait to have him on again because selfishly, I think 1, I just want to learn more shit, and 2, I think our listeners are going to probably really enjoy this episode because any of you out there are newer anglers, you definitely just learned something. For Christ's sake, I just learned that I'm putting more vibrant, more reactive colors, as Ryan said, in my arsenal. Kind of shied away from them, I feel like, over the last few years. And yeah, definitely popping that back in. It was good. It's a great time. And it was also fun to get another member of Dark Horse Tackle. Love Dark Horse Tackle.
Oh, yeah.
Dude. Yeah.
Well, shall we hit the comments from last episode?
Let's hit it. You going first?
Yep. I got the YouTuber comments here.
Yep.
Starting out with the big one.
Mm-hmm.
From Mr. Creek Crawler himself, Brian. Appreciates us having him on. And of course, man, we appreciate you coming on. Great discussion.
Dude, it was a great episode.
Yes. We've got a David Whitley, who is a fan of the Creek Crawler, which is how he made his way to us, apparently. And he's looking forward to the podcast, which might mean he commented before he watched and listened, but we appreciate you. Hope you enjoyed the podcast.
I hope you did, man. It was a good one. And we also are a fan of the Creek Crawler. That's how we found him and got him on the show. Awesome. Glad people are engaging, especially over on the YouTubes. But let's pop on over to Spotify, which is my favorite platform because that's where I listen to all my stuff at. But just saying. So we'll start with I got 2 on here, but one, we're going to start with the answering of the question. And that would be from Z Estepi, which is our good buddy Zach. Something new for me has been chatterbaits and swim jigs. Both have been really successful so far. Been having a lot of fun playing around with the soft plastics I'm using on both of setups. P.S. Sorry about the swim jig, James.
It's all right. I'll get another Hags to replace it.
He owes you a hag. I know a place you can get them, Zach. Don't you worry. It's called American Vet Fishing. Our boy Joe will hook you up there. He's got you, buddy. Thanks, Zach. Also, swim jigs and chatterbaits are like these two guys go to. I'm the swim jig dude. He's a chatterbait dude.
I've been picking that swim jig up a lot more
and
lately.
I have been picking it up the chatterbait. So I feel like it just whatever floats your boat for that time being. But I'm glad you're getting out there and hanging it up. I do want to shout out though. He was using a trailer that I would never ever have thought to put on the back of a chatterbait. It was getting crushed on, and I think that's sick. The innovation and spray. It's that Yamamoto that's like got the skirt on the front and then like the two grub legs on the back, and it's a grub. I just never I look at that and I'm like, I don't know. But he got it. And then last comment over here on Spotify, our good boy Justin Wibberly says fishermen talk about colors more than any other group of straight men. You know what, Justin? You're on to something, buddy. I think you're on to something. So, James, what's this week's question?
That is a very, very good question, sir.
This week's question is, we're not asking you a question. You guys are going to ask us the question. So, comment your guys' questions below. And on next week's episode, we'll answer them. I think that's how we're going to play this week.
I like that.
We didn't come up with a question. And this is the easiest
cop
out.
This was planned far in advance, like 4 episodes back.
This is the easiest cop out I've come up with all day.
Yeah, ask us any question.
Any question, fishing related.
I mean, you can ask non-fishing related if you want. We just don't guarantee we'll answer
it. Yeah, exactly. But that's all fun and good. But we have a slight announcement, and it's not like, I mean, I know we talked about the giveaway in the beginning. That's big. Just, remember, get out there, hit the socials, get your giveaway on. There's some good juice out there that we're giving out, especially that Nage. Looking mighty fine. I know this guy wants it. Yeah, you
can always use another.
I know. I could too, but they need it. They need it more than we need it.
I'm about to get on our post and comment and then giveaway.
You know what's funny is I thought about that. I was like, me and James still could technically join this because we have our own personal accounts, but I refrained.
Yeah, no.
But anyway, slight announcement, kind of a big announcement for us. We think it's super cool. Really hope you guys enjoy as well. So I hope you guys, a few episodes back, actually one of the very first guests we had, other than Mr. Eli himself, we had Bill on from WM Bayou. Actually, let me go ahead and jog your guys' memory real quick.
Roll that beautiful bean footage.
Then there's a little bait we call the free fall fry, which was really just out of an experiment of again, I don't want to make another paddle tail. So what is another tail I could put on there that would impart movement and be different, right? So we're a huge believer in different gets bit.
I want to really talk about this bait because this bait to me is super unique. It's super versatile. And the fact that you're offering it in not only the big size, I apologize if you cannot see this. This one is torn up.
It's small.
It's small. And it's also severely torn up because I caught 20-some fish on this in a creek.
The reason we started is we get a huge high off people catching their PBs on our lures. That's, to me, that is the best thing going. Me catching a PB on my lure, fine. Anybody can catch a PB on just about any lure if they just throw it all the time, right? So but other people catching their PBs on our lures is just fantastic.
Now that we have jogged your memory a little bit and you are now thinking about WM Bayou, the cool thing about WM Bayou is, well, your boys here have now become affiliated with WM Bayou. If you go to our Instagram, which we know you're already there joining up for the giveaway, go ahead and pop into our bio and go to the WM Bayou link in our bio. And through that link anything you purchased, we get a little bit of a kickback back because that's through our affiliate link. Basically, any kickback that come back our way through the order is going to be used to make and grow Small Ponds Big Dreams. So if you support us and you want to get some real juicy baits, I mean, my favorite bait currently in the catalog is the Thing. What are you vibing to right now?
I mean, I like the Thing.
Yep.
I like the Thing. But I may have a Dunk Express on the way
Ooh.
soon enough with some new stuff to try, and I'm very excited.
I can't wait to hear about that. I know me right now. I'm trying to get something on that Bone Thug. That's kind of tied on, ready to go. That's the big soft plastic swim bait I'm throwing.
And you know me, I'm a sucker for a paddle tail lately, and I can't wait to grab a paddle tail on a ball head.
Oh, dude, I know. So I know
slay it.
I know you guys will be excited to hear next week's Dunk Express. But yeah, that's the news, man. If you guys want to get anything we've talked about through WM Bayou, you see anything over there that looks cool, just go through our affiliate link. We get a little bit of a kickback, and yeah, that kickback is going to help us grow this this thing that we call Small Ponds Big Dreams, going from the small pond to the big dream. Anything else you want to leave our listeners with this week? We got some fun ones coming.
Yeah, we do have some good episodes coming.
We got some fun ones down the pipeline. We got some fun ones down the
There'll be
pipeline.
some fun recordings.
Yeah, it's going to be enjoyable.
Yeah.
Nothing crazy planned fishing wise. We're getting after it like normal.
I mean, we're gonna get some Memorial Day.
Oh, dude, I'm
catches in,
excited.
and we
I'm
have
excited.
to.
I'm excited. WM Bayou will be on the line.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I think I might throw the bio crawl on Monday.
There you go. A little crawl action.
Might be a good one.
All
That'd be a
right.
good one.
All right.
Well, yeah, that's gonna do it. I don't even care. That's gonna do it.
You got it.
Yeah, no, I'm not even gonna say it. I'm just gonna we appreciate you guys listening, commenting, keep it all up. If you are enjoying anything you're watching or listening, we appreciate if you rate, maybe follow, share it with a fishing buddy if you like,
And again, comment.
comment,
Hit that giveaway.
and just get out there and fish. I mean, shit, that's what it's all about.
Oh yeah.
Get out there and fish. Give it a good old tight lines, bent rods,
And big dreams.
deuces.